Hello everyone, my name is Eric Terramons, and today we're going to be checking out Kotobukiya's Bishoujo Darkstalkers or Vampire Savior, Felicia. So while I was setting up all these figures here and everything like I always do when I make one of these little reviews, I realized I don't have any Catgirl statues other than Felicia. That's so wild. I love Catgirl so much. I don't get it. Come on, Azur Lane, get on that. But in truth, Azur Lane has mostly cute fox girls. I mean, they got their Catgirl every now and then. I'm going off topic. This here is Felicia, and she is very adorable. Let's go through this figure, talking about the ups and the downs, and see if she's worth your hard-earned cash. I know that they also recently announced a Player 2 color scheme. I think it's Player 2, but it's awesome. It looks very Halloween-y, but I do love the tan skin of the original, the blue hair. Like, the classic is really my favorite. And I don't think I could invest in getting a second character that's exactly the same as this one, just different colors. I learned my lesson from Hasbro. Damn Transformers, like 45 colors for everyone. Going off topic again. So let's talk about the base, because her base is very cute. It's just this cute little shape here. It's got the right kind of pinks, and it looks fabulous. It fits her very well, considering she's a singer, dancer, performer of the arts in general. And I love it. It looks like something right out of the game. It looks like something out of the comics. It looks like something out of the anime. It's just really good. It fits with her. Kotobukiya, you just keep doing a good job on your bases, especially for your Bishoujo lines. I'm so proud of you. You make me so happy. Moving up from the base, we have her feet, and my goodness, are her feet incredible. You know, I think a reason why I don't have a lot of anime Catgirl statues is because a lot of the times they're just human with ears at the tail. So having something like this, which is really truly monstrous, is very cool. So her furry cuddly feet look adorable. She has these awesome slashers at the end. I mean, my goodness, those claws are hardcore. I really like the shape of all of this, and then she has this little tuft of fur in the back too. It looks poofy, it looks soft, there's some shading, there's highlights, it's just really, really well done. And if you want to see what it looks like from the back, her left foot is posed upwards so you can actually check it out. And it's so cute. It has those little cat paws here. They're just so adorable. They look extra soft, just like a real cat. And she almost looks like she can kind of like do that sort of thing that a cat would do too with their little paws. It's just really adorable, despite it also looking kind of creepy and super dangerous. The nails at the end of her feet are so well done. There's a gradient to them as well. The shading looks beautiful. It actually looks like it's plugged into her foot. It's fantastic. This is a very fabulous figure, which is great because she's a fabulous character. Going up from there, we start getting a little bit of skin. She does show off quite a bit of skin, so this might not be for everybody. And also the way that her body parts are really sectioned off could turn some people off because it's not like a flawless, seamless transformation. It really almost feels like cut here and there, almost like it's a clothing design. I personally like it. I think it's cute and adorable and fashionable, but you know, it's not for everybody. As I had mentioned before, her skin is tanned. I love it. There's shading, there's highlights, it's gorgeous, and there's this cute little motif of fur that kind of wraps around her body to cover her up so that she seems somewhat decent with her exposure. However, in the comics, and I believe maybe the anime as well, I don't remember, but she actually does wear real clothing. I guess she's just more comfortable in her birthday suit when it comes to combat. She is quite shapely. I like this because she's also in really good shape. So it's kind of like a mix between curvy and musculature. I think it's very nice. Her stomach is very well shaded. I love the little design around it, the decoupage too. I think it looks cute. As we move slowly to her side, hips, and back, she's definitely well made. You can see they put a lot of work onto that back side. In the game, she kind of has like a bikini going on with the way her fur is designed, so it's not really that nude, I guess, considering the decoupage of the rest of this. I guess it still sort of is. However, on this figure, especially from the back, you don't really see anything because of the way that it folds inwards. So, you know, take that as you will. This is a very naked figure. Her back is full of muscle at the same time that it looks so smooth. It's so well done. The sculpt is just really on point with this figure. I have a hard time finding any real issues with it. I guess one thing I could say is that where the tail plugs in and then you have the decoupage of her white elements here and there fur, it doesn't look like it's connected perfectly. And it is in the back, which you're rarely going to be showing off, but of course some of you do. So it was worth mentioning. She has her tail, which again has all the little texture and design sculpt into it. It looks really nice. I love how it's not just a simple little circle with the tail, like it actually looks like it has some life to it. A mind of its own, just like any kind of cat's tail. And any of you know that when you're touching a cat, the tip of that tail is always like this is so accurate, so real to like a real cat. Her chest is very well done. She's not over the top with her top. However, it does look kind of natural and more realistic than what you would get from a lot of figures that we see nowadays, and I find that pretty refreshing. All these little lines and everything that kind of feel like that bikini look to cover her up really do a good job at accentuating the parts that they want to accentuate, and it looks beautiful. There's little textures all around the white elements, so that way you really have that fuzzy little fur effect. And there's shading and gradients on them as well. They really put a lot of work into it. I actually really love her collarbone and like the neck muscles that go through. I find it's very well done here. The shading is nice, the sculpt is nice, like this is very beautiful. And then after it goes into her shoulders, down into her arms, which turn into these amazing paws. These are fantastic. Her super meat hooks here are just great. Like, look at this thing. They've got the cute little leathery paw piece inside, like her feet do, and like a real kitty would have. Her actual spiky claws coming out here. They look nice, and they look just as nice as the feet. The gradients are a little less pronounced, however, they're smaller, so, you know. I like how open they are, too. You know, like when you have a cat that stretches out, it's really like, it feels like that. At the same time, it gives off that whole, like, she could just swipe you one. Very, very good. She has that little tuft of fur on the outside wrist, and it kind of matches up with the one that's down near her ankle. Very nice, very much like the video game, so it looks very accurate. She has a lovely choker on her neck. It looks beautiful, and it kind of goes up around the back of her head, and then it makes this cute little bonnet thing, which her ears come out of. The ears are cute, they look just like the ones in the game, and I really love her facial expression. My goodness, this facial expression is her. It's perfect. Giant smile, it's 3D, it goes in, they put some gloss on the tongue so it actually looks shiny in comparison to the rest of her matte outlook. So this actually makes the inside of her mouth pop a bit more, where she has the teeth, the fangs. It is just fantastic. The nose is beautiful. It looks kind of like the way it was drawn in the game too. Well, I guess it depends on the artist. However, very nice. The eyes are super cute, beautiful, with the sweet cat slit going across the middle. Her eyebrows also really accentuate the vibrant energy that she's trying to portray with her whole facial expression. And not just that, but her whole playful pose that she's doing in the first place. She almost looks like she's Scooby-Doo tiptoeing behind somebody to scare them as a joke, which I wouldn't put past her. This character really does seem like that. I have to absolutely mention this part, but most figures, you know, they have those lines from when they attach the faces or whatnot. Because hers is actually under the choker, it's all seamless. So when you're looking at her jaw or anything like this, there's no lines. It all feels as though everything is just one seamless sculpt. It's fantastic, because even the parts that, you know, separate or look like they could plug in, she looks like this. It works so well in the sculptor's favor. Okay, now it's time to get started on the craziest thing of this whole figure, and that's her epic hair. I have to mention that this thing is freaking hefty. She's so heavy, and that's like 50% the hair. It's such a thick chunk of plastic. There's highlights, there's shading. It's so well done. I can't believe how seamless most of it is too. I'm still freaking out about it. It really doesn't look like there's too many parts plugged in here and there. There are a couple, but they're just not that noticeable. Or you'll see it, but like hardly at all. I love how it's a darker blue at the bottom as it slowly becomes a lighter blue going up. This super cute bang that she has here, just like in the game. The two awesome lighter blue strands flying behind her. This figure looks incredible. My goodness, that's nice. I just can't believe how good the hair is on her. It's really fantastic. I remember seeing the product shots of this, and I I needed this figure. Like, of all my figure collection, this is one I could never pass up on. It is so pretty. Not to mention, I grew up with Darkstalkers, but more on this later. Now to talk about one of the major downsides to this figure. I know you've already seen it multiple times, and you've even thought about it just looking at this video so far, or if you've seen this anywhere else. It's her stand. She needs this giant, thick stand to take care of that hair. The hair is so heavy. And, you know, in truth, they probably could have hollowed the hair out so that she wouldn't even have needed this. The figure would have been lighter, but I wonder how much that would have sacrificed the overall design and aesthetic that we see on the hair in the first place. I can't help but think that a hollowed out one would end up feeling more plasticky and cheap. We wouldn't have the same kind of beautiful sculpt work that we have in this. However, again, you wouldn't have this horrible stand. I usually don't mind stands. I'm able to look past them, but I know some of you out there aren't, and this stand is thick, it's really behind her, and it also isn't easy to put on. I had to look up tons of things online, the instructions were terrible, and even when I put it in there, it was by no means easy. They give it to you and it's this big, you have to use it. There's no way you could be like, oh, she'll be fine. I'm very curious, if any of you have bought this figure and you don't use the stand, I would love to see some pictures in like a year or 2 years from now. As of this date, we are currently November 2023. So if you got some of these in the future, send them to me. I have to see this. I'm really curious if it pulls the whole head back. Maybe it does nothing and they just put it there as a precaution, but for real, it's so heavy, and the way her body curves, I don't see it. Like, she needs that stand. On her release, she was yen, so, you know, do that with as you will. I don't know if she's worth more than that. I definitely would have paid more than that because I love this character quite a bit, and I grew up on this franchise back in the early 90s. I remember this being one of my first PlayStation games that I ever got, and for real, it showed a picture of Morgan on the front, and I remember just being like, gee, I hope this doesn't awaken something inside of me. Years later, I freaking love Monster Girls like crazy. They're all amazing. Felicia definitely being one of my favorite personality-wise. She's just fantastic, to the point where even in my own manga Blithe, I created a character named Mika that is a total homage to this character. There's a few differences, obviously, but it's just to say that like a lot of the core elements are there, just because I freaking love Darkstalkers so much, and it really warped the tastes and the things that I enjoy in life. Now, they've made a ton of Felicia figures throughout the years. I've seen so many of them come and go, and for real, I just never liked them. Either I thought the poses just didn't fit the character and her personality, or I thought that the faces were off, or just all around, it just didn't feel like Felicia. It's either over-sexualized just to be over-sexualized, and you know what? That might be Morgan, Lilith, and maybe some other characters too, but it's not Felicia. Even though she's very attractive and she's not wearing a lot of clothing, she's got that burst of energy, and she loves singing and dancing, and that's what you get out of this. It looks like she's about to pull a prank on someone. This is so perfect in personality and in looks that if you're a fan of this character, you will not be disappointed. That Player 2 one, I had mentioned it earlier, it looks so great. It has such a Halloween-y flavor to it that I would love to have that figure. It's just, I can't afford getting a second figure that's the same as this one. It's just too much. I mean, most of you out there collecting figures, you know the struggle. We want them all, but sometimes we really have to pick and choose, and I'm very happy just having this one. So Kotobukiya, if you ever watch this or you're listening, your Darkstalkers figures are beautiful. All three of them are pretty nice, but for real, please give me a Hasienko. I want Hasienko so bad. She's amazing, and it's frustrating that after all these years we keep getting so many different Morgans and Liliths and even Felicias, and we don't get any Hasienko. She's so cute and so pretty and so creepy, like the giant hands and everything. I mean, if I didn't have these figures and I just had Hasienko, of course I'd be complaining that I want these ones. They're like the greatest. But there's so many great characters in that Darkstalkers franchise. Start getting in there, picking them all out. I want to see tons of these things. And that about sums it up for today's episode. If you like this video just a little bit, it doesn't cost much to hit that like, that subscribe, and that notification bell. This way you'll be notified of my future videos. Have a super awesome rest of your day, and see you next time. Bye! So what do you think, Miri? Do you think it's worth it? You think it's a cute one? Hmm? Your silence says everything.